Do I get any poppadoms free with that? Oh, come on, pal, play the game. Hey guys, Vic here, back with another review. Today we are looking at this, the Primo V2 kit from Joyetech. Yeah, they literally just did the V1, I think it was about a month ago, 5 weeks ago, something like that. I reviewed the Primo V1. Well, they've not thrown that away. That's not in the trash at all. Perfectly legitimate setup, but they have made several tweaks, improvements to the board, to the tank, and to the finish. So we're going to go over that in this video. In a nutshell, what they have done is they have upgraded the tank. It is now the Unimax 2. The Unimax 2, it now has a coil head capable of much higher wattage, which is more in suiting with the size of the tank and the size of the mod and the power of the mod. They've tweaked some things that people didn't like about on the tank as well. I'll show you those up close. They have changed the cover, the case. It's now a carbon fibre style shell as opposed to the leather style shell of the V1. They also have an updated board. They have updated the firmware on the board as standard, and it has a couple of nice features. It numbers the batteries now, so you can literally see which battery it's talking about on the board when it says one's lower than the other, so you can inspect it or check it through the charger or whatever you want to do. I think that's a nice little tweak. It's now capable of 50 amps. So it can handle up to 50 amps, which means it can go all the way up to 228 watts now, which is quite impressive indeed. If you haven't seen my V1 review, in a nutshell, I was very impressed with that. It's actually one of my favourite budget regulated mods ever. So the V2, what's that like? Let's go and have a look at it first, then we'll come back up top for some pros and cons. See you in a sec. Alright guys, here we are up close with the Primo V2, with the Unimax V2 as well. The tank is the Unimax V2. Obviously instantly notice one major change on the Primo V2, and that is now has this carbon fibre style finish on it as opposed to the leather. We'll come back to the mod though. One of the more significant changes to this kit is actually the Unimax V2. They've made a lot of changes on this. This is the new coil head for the Unimax. It's now a 40 to 80 watt coil, whereas before it was a 30 to 50 watt coil. So a much more cloudy coil. I don't know how well you can see that. It's a very closed sort of system, but yes, there we go. That is the coil head that is now vastly upgraded in terms of power. If we get the V1, got the V1 here, and this is the V2. There's also several other changes as well. They've changed this drip tip style. It had this quite unique slide-on drip tip style. I don't know if people didn't like that, or the feedback was that was a bit janky. But yeah, they have changed that up now, so there you go. So that's back on there. Now it's just like the Cleto. It just has that O-rings affair going on like that, so you're going to have to find a suitable drip tip for that. The actual airflow style and the way it works is very much exactly the same. So you've still got this airflow here and airflow there. They've removed this rubberized thing. Fair enough. That's purely cosmetic. And then they have gone down and then improved that coil head, as I've just said. So the dimensions and everything are the same, but it's a much improved coil head, and they've made some minor tweaks on the actual tank itself. Moving over to the mod, we'll screw this back on. One of the great things about the Primo, of course, it can fit 25mm atomizers on top without looking crazy at all. You know, it fits this absolutely massive tank, no problem at all. So, as we said, the carbon fibre is something that they have changed drastically. They also now have an updated board. If we turn this on, there's a few subtle changes visually, but this is an upgraded bit of firmware, and it can now do up to 228 watts, and they're very confident about that. It has a new 50 amp limit on this now. Another thing that they have improved is the balanced charging. It balances charges all the way up to 2 amps now if you charge it via USB, and again they've got loads of stats. They're very confident about that on their website, loads of graphs, charts and stats. The rest of the Primo V2 is very, very similar, to be honest. They've made several firmware changes and they've changed this to carbon fibre, but ultimately the actual mod is pretty much the same. If you liked it before, I'm sure you'll like it again, and it's just got that extra wattage and a much improved coil head that can now do up to 80 watts with a few cosmetic changes to this to the actual tank as well. So we'll go back up top for pros and cons. Alright guys, that was the Primo V2, down low, up close and all that. What haven't I told you so far? You can get a 510 adapter which turns this mod into a power bank should you want to do that. Joyetech have had that part for a little while. This mod is compatible with that, some aren't. This one is, so you can buy that adapter to have this as a power bank as well, should you wish. It's available in way more colours than the V1 was. Red, gold, yellow, blue, stainless steel, black and stainless steel, black and grey, black and red, and like a bronzy, rosy, rose goldy, bronzy sort of finish is available as well. So there's that. The price, very competitive, seems to be 50 to 65 quid for the kit. You can get the mod on its own if you go to the right place as well. Great price. I think it's a great price because there is no mistaking the build quality of this mod. Build quality to price ratio off the chain. I genuinely do believe that. If you didn't see my Primo V1 review or you haven't read my comments or anything like that, I genuinely loved the V1 and still love the V1. I love it, absolutely love it. So, and there's absolutely no reason that I don't love this either. I think it's a fantastic mod, super well made, really, really great mod. I think it looks good. So many of the more affordable mods don't look good, and I think this one looks great. Personally, I prefer the faux leather actually. So I actually prefer the looks of the V1. If I was going to the shop tomorrow and I didn't own either, I would actually buy the V1, not the V2, because I don't need the extra power. I don't really use these tanks anyway. So I would actually get the V1, personal preference, but that's because the V1 and the V2 are both excellent. So it just comes down to personal taste on the actual case. I'm sure you can update the firmware on the V1 if you've got one anyway. So it's all rosy. It's all rosy good stuff. The tank is much improved. I genuinely thought that there was room for improvement with that V1 Unimax. It seemed underpowered for the size of it, which was interesting, but again, strange. And now it can do up to 80 watts. I'm only at 50 watts. And it's a nice tasty vape. I think anyone that buys the kit of this, they will continue using the tank for quite some time after. It won't be a throw the tank in the bin situation. It's a very nice tank indeed actually, and the improvements have really helped. It feels better in that it feels better made. It's easier to work with, change the coils on, and the coil, the abilities of the coil are way better. This one is still going. This one is still lasting after all this time. This one's been my work one for ages, so it must have done 40 mil, and it's still going strong. So it's way more durable as well as having that higher wattage, which is very impressive indeed. So big thumbs up for the Unimax V2. No problems at all with the Primo V2. It'll come down to personal taste as to whether you want the V1 or the V2, because they're both really great mods that I'm really, really enjoying. For me, they knocked it out of the park with this. I think it's stylish. The board is flawless. Capacity of the batteries, the style of the batteries, the way it all works. I have no discernible negatives with this mod at all. I love it. I genuinely love it. The tank, is much improved as well. So it's a 5-star, it's a 2 thumbs up situation. I'm a big fan of this. And I should tell you while you're here, I've actually got the Evic Primo Mini now as well, and that'll be getting a good old review in not too long a time. You know, working my way through it right now. So the Primo Mini review coming very soon as well. So please stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, etc. I'm Vic, and I'll see you again soon.